Happy Thursday! Welcome back. We have missed you guys. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Welcome to all of you new people. If you haven't been on our live stream, we normally go live every Thursday from 6 to 7 p.m. But we have been on a break, a well-needed break. We also have our private live streams with all of our members. So if you are not a member and you're interested in becoming a member, you can do that on our website. On our YouTube channel. Just click that join button. But today we are going to talk about, of course, our beloved Kika. She's the start of all of our madness, and a lot of you guys have shown interest in the family tree and how it all started and how many generations we have. And so today, that's exactly what we are going to do. So we are going to dive right in. I haven't been on for a long time, so if there's any problems, I hope somebody yells and says, hey, there's a problem. Because we haven't done that in some time. So we are going to do our little intro, and then we're going to jump right into our show. All right, welcome back. Okay, so I have a slideshow that we are going to talk about today, and I will get to your guys' questions. If you are new, you might not know that we do answer all of your guys' questions, but we just ask that you please put 3 question marks before your question so that we don't miss your question when we're going through all the comments in the chat, because as you can tell, there's a lot of comments, a lot of people talk back and forth to each other, so we just don't want to miss you. So make sure you do that for me, and we are going to get started. So today we have created this amazing family tree, and I know it's kind of small because we had to fit so many dogs in here, but some of the coolest things are, look at this. Do you see my pointer? Hopefully you guys can all see this little red dot that's moving. So we are gonna start, what's the cursor there for?
That's your cursor on the computer.
Oh, my daughter has to tell me. So we are going to start, and I'll show you guys a bunch of things, but we're going to start up here at the very top because 2 of those dogs are Kika's parents, and she's the start of this. So Kika was born in 2003. That is how long we have been involved with the Alaskan Klee Kai. And so first I want to show you her parents. Now keep in mind, I didn't breed Kika. I bought her from another breeder who is no longer breeding, but Andrea Hayes is where I got her from. And so the parents are both deceased at this time, and it was very, very hard to find photos of Kika's parents. I have one of each of them, and that is it. So forgive me for them being pretty horrible, but it is what it is. I can't go back 20 years and try to find them. So Bo is this guy right here, which is really old and blurry, but he is more of a full-coated dog, or he was, and he is gray and white with brown eyes. And her mama is Kina. And again, old pictures, I don't have them, but Kina was also a gray and white and blue-eyed. So her dad was brown-eyed, her mom was blue-eyed. And then they made our famous Kika. So, for example, you see our logo right here? That picture that you're looking at is where our logo came from. So that is her head, that is her picture, that is her tongue, that is everything. So anytime you see that, that is a great representation for Kika's Klee Kai because it's all on her. So that is Kika, and I'm going to share a bunch of photos of her first before we get into everybody else. And I promise we will take a break and ask all of your questions in just a few minutes. But let me get through a couple of these slideshows, and then I'll jump in and get you guys some questions answered. So some of my pictures of Kika are horrible because we didn't have amazing cameras and phones that have great picture quality back in 2003. But Kika was born June 18th of 2003. And so there she is as a puppy, 4 weeks old in this picture down here on the bottom, if you guys can see that. So she's 4 weeks old there. That was when the breeder sent me a picture, and we were making decisions. We actually drove and met Kika at 4 weeks old and picked her. She was the only girl. She had 2 brothers They were all three light gray and white. Now, remember, we talk about the light gray and whites a lot, so I'm going to go back here for a second. Both of her parents are pretty light gray and white, and they never repeated this breeding, but they got the one litter, and all three were light gray and white. I try to do that, doesn't work. I end up with white puppies. But that is a very interesting fact because all three were very light gray. So we have a bunch of Kika right there. A lot of these are somewhat older. This one on the bottom here is not as old as, I think this was 2010. 2010, probably 2015. I don't have the years, but we've got some old ones. We're going to show a couple old ones here. So Brayden and Alexis are 22 and almost 21, and those are them two right there. And so Kika was very young in this photo because, I don't know, Alexis probably looks like you're what, 3 or 4? Probably 4.
Yeah.
Brayden doesn't even have any teeth. So she was probably maybe 2, if that. Probably younger.
We got her and I was 2.
So, yeah, she's probably, I don't know the dates, but she was probably under a year old is my guess then. And so then we have a couple other horrible photos. So Kika was bred to a male named Sky. I did not own Sky. Again, I had to hunt and peck for a photo. This is the best I could get. It is a black and white brown-eyed boy named Sky. So we bred Kika to Sky, and they gave us Cassie. Now, Cassie was a very special dog. She was 6 months old and won Best in Show. For the Alaskan Klee Kai, that is very, very rare, like especially back then. So this was Cassie was born in 2004, Christmas Eve 2004, and she was, so beginning of 2005. So June of 2005 is when she won Best in Show. So in 2005, the Alaskan Klee Kai were not the most common at a dog show, and a lot of them were very nervous and shy, and so for her to win Best in Show out of all breeds at 6 months old, she was 6 months old one day, was amazing. So she became probably our top dog in dog shows, and for everybody, like everybody just loved Cassie. So there's Cassie as a puppy. And a lot of our photos of Cassie are going to be in a dog show because we traveled a lot with Cassie. We went to Premier, which is in Michigan. We went to Kansas. We went to Illinois. We went up north. We went everywhere we could with her because she was competing for top 10 points, which I don't want to bore you with all that, but it's just competition stuff. So a couple more photos with Cassie. I did notice this one here. Scratch that. That is not Cassie. That is Brayden. But that's not Cassie. That was Kiara and old dogs way back in the day. But so you can see Cassie, if you guys look at dogs and their structure, the way they stand, Cassie was amazing. She always stood perfect. Like, look at this perfect line right there. And so that's Cassie. That's Alexis showing Cassie. Brayden's back here. This is when Cassie won Best in Show. And look at my little baby girl. Like, you were 5. Not even 5 because it would have been June.
Oh, yeah. So
she was 4. She was 4. So that's Cassie. So Kika's first daughter that we kept is Cassie. So Kika started this, then Cassie. And there's a big correlation you guys are going to see here in a second. So then we took Kika's mom, which is Kina, and we bred her to Kona. And Kona we bought from another breeder. We bought him from Eileen in Colorado back in, I think he was in 2004 also. So we didn't own Kina, but we made a deal with Andrea, and so we used our male, which was Kona, and bred him to Kika's mom. And when we did that, we got Bodhi. And Bodhi was a deal where Andrea and I made an agreement that I would get one puppy out of that breeding for using Kona as our stud. And we sent Bodhi to a great friend of mine named Jen, who is now retired from breeding, but you guys a lot of you guys know Siggy was with Jen. A lot of my dogs were with Jen. So Bodhi plays a big part in this, and you'll see why here in a minute. So Bodhi came through Andrea, went to Jen in Texas. Hopefully I'm not losing you guys. Then he came back to us. Jen got out of breeding twice. The first time she got out of breeding, we got Bodhi back. Then we still had Kona. So we didn't need Kona and his son. So we sold Bodhi to Julie. If you guys have been around a little while, remember Julie came in and she did a live stream with us, and we talked a lot about health and things like that. So he went to live with Julie Baker and still does. In fact, Alexis, oh no, just recently he passed. Just recently. So he just recently passed. He's won weight pool. He's done a lot of dog show competition stuff, but a lot of weight pool and fun things. So there's Bodhi. Now, then we took Kona. Remember, Kona created Bodhi, but then we took Kona and bred him to Cassie. So remember, Cassie's not related to Kona, right? So we bred Cassie to Kona. And what we got was Mackenzie. This is Mackenzie and Chance. And Mackenzie stayed with us, and Chance we sold to another breeder. He ended up coming back to us. Always seems to happen. But Chance did come back to us. His breeder, she has passed away since then, but her name was Debbie Clifton. And so when all of her illnesses came, she sent him back to us. So we got him back. So we got those two puppies. And as soon as I finish with one more, I'm going to finish one more slide, and then I'll answer some questions. And we had these two dogs. So Mackenzie was my second, or our second, top show dog. 6 months old, winning best in shows. Remember that Mackenzie is a Cassie daughter. So a lot of genes came from her mom. And so look at my little princess. She used to suck her fingers and twirl her hair. And Brayden and Mackenzie. Mackenzie in the middle here at her first dog show. And then some other dog show pictures of Mackenzie. Lots of pictures of Mackenzie. You're going to see very similar structure, but Mackenzie was bigger. So Cassie was a toy. Mackenzie was a miniature. And you guys probably already are seeing some resemblance of dogs if you look at her face. I bet you are. So we're going to stop there for a second. I'll see if I need to answer any of your questions before we keep going, because I don't want you guys to get lost or have me forget and you get off of the show. Okay, so my first question's from, I don't know if it's the color. You don't need to put them on there.
Okay.
If you don't want to, it's fine.
Yeah, I don't know why they did that.
They're the wrong color now. They used to be white. Yeah. So first question, when you got Kika, did you have intentions of breeding? Yes. Andrea knew we planned to breed her. That was our whole plan. We waited 2 years for Kika. And even back in 2003, when we bought her, we still paid $1,800 for her way back then, which was expensive. I had 2 little babies, and I saved my entire bonus to buy her. So yeah, it was all planned. And then, did you not go in order?
This one.
Okay, next one is, are there dogs you avoid breeding together? For example, people won't breed 2 Merrill dogs together. So yes, there are a couple of things that we avoid in our breeding program at all costs. The one, of course, is going to be factor 7. If you haven't heard of factor 7, it is a bleeding disorder that was found in our breed probably back in maybe 2006 or 2007. Don't quote me on that because I don't remember the exact year, but we found out that our breed did have a case of factor 7, which is a bleeding disorder. So all of us tested our dogs, and we had to make sure that if we had carriers, we could keep them in our breeding program, but they had to be bred to a clear. And so they just carry one of those genes, but they weren't affected with that disease. And anybody that was affected had to be retired from the breeding program. I was very fortunate. I did not have any dogs that were affected, and I did have a couple carriers, Mackenzie being one of them. And so we had to be careful with what lines we bred to who because of that. And so somebody's asking what's a Merrill dog. It's a color, it's a coat color combination. It's not something that's in our breed. That's not a coat color that the Alaskan Klee Kai are in, but other breeds are, and that's what she's referring to. But just because in their breed, they don't breed those dogs together for whatever reasons, we wouldn't breed dogs that are affected or carriers to carriers. Another thing that we wouldn't do is breed a white dog. So the all-white Alaskan Klee Kai are a disqualification. So they are not allowed to breed and have puppies or be in competition unneutered or spayed. And then aside from that, I mean, I'm just careful with obviously health and temperament and structure of the dog, but coat coloring, you know, when we're trying to accomplish something like Kika, for example, that color that has become pretty popular, it's hard to get. So sometimes we will breed two dogs that carry the white gene in hopes of getting a light gray, but we don't intentionally try to get white puppies, if that makes sense. All right, one more and then we'll keep going. Okay, two more. Okay, hurry. I gotta hurry.
Well, yeah,
I'm
not
going
me.
I just joined, so I'm not sure if you mentioned this. What size was Kika? Jason, she was a miniature. Of course, when she was older, she was a little overweight, but she also had a very thick coat, so it looked like she was really bigger than she was, because when she got wet, she shrunk. And then Cassie was a toy. I saw Viva asking that question. So Cassie was a toy, and Kika was a mini. And why did you give chance to a breeder? So Tanya's asking that. Because I owned his dad. And so back then in 2005, 2006, 2007, when we had these puppies, we kept the female because we could breed to other males, but we couldn't keep a lot of males at that time. I worked a full-time job when I first got involved in Klee Kai, so I didn't do it full-time. So I couldn't keep everybody, so he did go to another breeder, but he came back. How many pups come from one litter? So it depends. You could get one puppy, you could get 6 puppies or 7 puppies. Our average over the years is 3.5. 3.5. That's because of when you average it out. But usually between 3 and 4 puppies is what we see in our breed. Has there ever been an all black Klee Kai? Sandy's asking. And the answer to that is yes and no. You'll see some, they call them a dark, or they're lacking the white contrast on their face. When they're born, they're really dark, but they will actually, a lot of like the wolves do. Wolves are born really, really dark, and then they lighten up. So a lot of the blacks will turn and have markings on their face, but the Alaskan Klee Kai have certain requirements for their markings and their mask, and their coloring, by the way. So they cannot have one solid color. They have to have contrasting color. They have to have a mask. Their color that goes under their eyes can or cannot be there. However, that color that comes down underneath their eyes cannot be down past their cheeks and into their muzzle. So their muzzle can have the color going down on the top, right? But it cannot come down on the sides. It is supposed to be white. And so if it is all black, that is a DQ, a disqualification, and so they should not be bred, and they're strictly a pet. Again, I'm not going to get into all the drama of markings and coat colors, but there are people out there who love those darker blacks and add them to the program. All right, we're going to keep going. Okay, so that is Mackenzie, and then we took Bodhi and we bred him to Abby. Now, Abby is another dog. Remember, I was small back in 2003, 4, 5, 6. All of my dogs were bought, and then I would hope to keep one, and then I would hope to keep one. So most of my dogs came from somebody else. And Abby is one of those. She came from Eileen in Colorado back, I think it was 2007. But Jen and I made an agreement. Jen, again, lived in Texas, and she and her and I co-owned Abby. And Abby went to Texas with Bodhi, because remember, I sold Bodhi to Jen. So Abby and Bodhi created Hunter. Now, if you guys have been around a while, you guys know Hunter. Hunter has been a huge asset in our breeding program. Probably one of our top studs here, has produced a lot of puppies for us and a lot of really good quality puppies. So that's why this is important. So now you're starting to see where Bodhi's coming into the picture. And Abby, you're going to see Abby is a huge asset. Abby has produced the best male puppies that we have ever had, or is related to them because of Simba now. And you're going to see that. So Bodhi and Abby made Hunter. And originally I was keeping him, but another breeder convinced me to sell him to them. So he went to live with Barb and Allen in Kansas for a while, but he came back, as they always do. So he came back to us. He was also a top show dog, won a lot of shows back east. And then Abby was bred to Hondo. Now, Hondo was a red dog back in the day when there was like no reds. I think Hondo was probably maybe the 5th or 6th. Don't quote me on that, but there wasn't very many reds back then. And we made an agreement to swap studs for 6 months. So we sent Chance to Texas, and Hondo came to us for 6 months. So we tried to use him as much as we could with everybody. The reason we did that is because this, for one, it brought in the red gene, which no one had. Abby carried the red gene. We already knew that. And we didn't have males that had the red gene that we knew of. And so we wanted to bring that red in. And it also is very beneficial to bring in new blood. There's a risk, of course, with that, because you don't know those lines as well as you know your own lines. And so it's a gamble you got to take. But we bred Abby to Hondo, and that's where we got Keanu. So you all probably know Keanu, one of our favorite reds, our first red boy. And in fact, we just had to put him away because he was being mean to my baby Loki. But he's still around. He is not breeding anymore, but he is still here with us. Doesn't have many teeth left, and he's not as pretty as he used to be. He's more orangey. But Keanu plays a big part in our breeding program, or did in the past, and again comes from Abby. And then we bred Abby to Chance. So Abby and Chance gave us Zeus, who is the other male. So a lot of you guys are gonna hear, you have a puppy from Zeus, you have a puppy from Hunter, you have a puppy from Keanu. Those 3 males were our go-to males for 10 years, and their mom is Abby, all 3 of them. Abby is their mother. So that's where Abby comes in. Abby was a huge asset to our breeding program, gave us a lot of good boys. So then years go by, right? Keanu grows up, and we put we put Kika with Keanu. And we got Kaylani. I'll answer some more questions here in a minute. Now, this is pretty sad because I don't have pictures of Kaylani. I couldn't find anything, which I'm really disappointed in, because this was my last Kika daughter, my very last puppy from Kika, period. And it was with Keanu. But what happened is my computer crashed. I lost everything. Nothing was backed up. So I didn't have pictures of her. But she was born here. She was raised here. She was a singleton. She's bi-eyed, gray and white, a very small mini, a nice coat like Kika, but just a little darker. I did?
Wait, you went? Oh.
No, because I'm going in order.
Oh,
so
you're right.
I'm going in order on my little slideshow here. By the timeline, basically, because if you looked at that little tree that we made, right, it branches off all over, but I'm going in order by time. So then Kaylani was born, and now we're getting close to all of the goods, guys. Now we took Mackenzie to Tyler. Now, Tyler came from another breeder in Texas as an adult. So we didn't raise him, but he came to us, and he is Hondo's grandson. He's related to Hondo, so came from the same breeder where Hondo came out. So we took Tyler to Mackenzie. Voila. We got Diamond and Siggy. So I want you guys to think about that. Kika produced Cassie. Cassie produced Mackenzie. Mackenzie produced Diamond and Siggy. So that's 4 generations right there. All from Kika coming down. And if you look at Diamond right here and her mother, there is a lot of similarities, even their coat length. So we look at this and, you know, Alexis and I, we know what our dog looked like, but we just didn't really put it all together until we started building this tree out for you guys. And we're like, oh my God, I know where she gets the callus on her back. I know where she gets her smile. And then if you look at Tyler and you look at Siggy, I mean, ignore the markings, right? Like, they're identical. They're identical, but yet these two are sisters. One looks like mom, one looks like dad. So that's Diamond and Siggy's parents. Then we said, oh, let's take Hunter to Siggy. So we took Hunter to Siggy. We got Rue. So now all of these dogs are gonna all make sense to you guys because you know all of these dogs, they live here. So now we have Rue. So Hunter and Siggy made Rue. And then, I'm gonna stop there. Let's see if we have questions.
We do.
Okay, I'm gonna answer a few more questions so we don't just keep going. Okay, Crystal's asking, are you going to keep one of the red newborn puppies since Taz did not work out? No. Nope. For no other reason than I am overwhelmed with raising dogs and I don't want to raise any dogs right now. I'm raising dogs. I don't need more to raise. Does the color fade over time? Pup for life? Yes. Absolutely. So Zeus was jet black. He was dark, just like Mackenzie was darker. And then over time, they fade. Yes, they lose their markings. Hunter started losing all of his markings. Zeus started losing all of his markings. So the lighter they are, especially, you'll see it just turn gray. But yeah, they all kind of turn gray like old people.
Everyone thought that Zeus was gray.
Yeah, everybody thought Zeus was gray, but he's really black. Like even on his back, it started like just a big patch was all gray. But when he was younger, he was jet black. Okay, are there 2 coat colors that you never breed together? No, other than the whites. Obviously, we don't breed whites, but the grays, the reds, the blacks, they can all breed together. There's no reason why you can or can't. We have preferences, you know, and of course, if there's people trying to get certain colors, then they might be picking certain colors to breed together, but we don't discriminate. Yes, Tanya, Zeus is retired, Hunter is retired, Keanu is retired. All of them are done. When you say they produce good boys or girls, what are you judging that by? Great question, Jason. So we judge that on... I'm a head person. So for this breed, I'm very, very specific in my head shape, the way they hold their ears. This right here is a beautiful head. This, not as much. This, of course, here she kind of looks funny, but she has a really pretty head. So I want it to look a certain way. I want their ears to be up close on the top of their head. I want their movement to be amazing. I want their tail carriage to be correct. There's their eye set, where their eyes are, their eye shape. So if you look at Diamond's eye shape, even Siggy has really pretty eye shape. That's the shape that you're wanting right there. But whenever you get those eyes that are a little more buggy, some of it also is the way the pictures are. Okay,
You're
so
skipping.
I know. Oh, I am. But I was trying to find the pictures. I'm getting ahead of myself. I was trying to find pictures. Some of them have more buggy eyes. there's a lot to it. Their coats, all that good stuff. And how do you get party eyes? Last question. It's just genetics. So 2 blue eyes can throw party eyes, brown eyes can throw party eyes, and it just goes back generations and it's in the genes. But it just happens. I don't know. We don't have very many party eyed dogs, but we do have a few. But we still get party eyed. I was skipping.
I know. Well, hey.
Are you guys enjoying this? I hope so. Okay, so then we took Hunter to Aggie. Now, Aggie wasn't born or bred here, but when Jen retired from breeding, Aggie came to us. So we bred Aggie to Hunter, and that's where we got Simba. So you see how we took a female that's not related, and we added Hunter into that, and then Simba became Hunter's replacement as far as our breeding program goes. We got a gray and white for a gray and white. We actually got a better dog out of Simba than Hunter was, just because of his mask. I would say his markings on his face are a little better than Hunter's were. And so we got a really good puppy out of that pairing. Then we took Kaylani and Stebbins. And Stebbins came from another breeder. And so he wasn't born or bred here. And so it's kind of, it's a different line, right? We're adding that into, again, Kika's line. This is Kika's daughter. So Stebbins and Kaylani gave us Nala. Now you guys see where Nala came from. So Nala is Kika's granddaughter. Did you catch that? Kika's daughter and granddaughter. Now, our pictures of Kona are not the best. I wish I didn't have to go all the way back to show Kona.
You could, if you want to show, we could hit.
No, I didn't want to do that.
Oh. Okay.
I don't want to do that. It's fine. It's fine.
We can go back.
We can go back afterwards. We can go back. But Kona and Nala are very similar. Very similar. Markings very similar. Now, split masks like this, Mackenzie, Nala, open masks like Hunter, they are a little tricky to play with, because now you're adding these markings that need to stay symmetrical, right? So this breed, for breeding at least, they need to stay symmetrical. So what's on one side needs to be on the other side. Huh?
Like a butterfly.
Like a butterfly, Alexis said. So we have to be careful when we start having a lot of dogs that have split mask or open masks. And of course, we know her background. We know where she comes from. And so, is that River?
I think it's Ethan's game.
Oh, sorry. So we just have to be careful with who we're breeding who to, so that we don't end up diminishing the mask in our lines.
Mm-hmm. That is River.
Yeah, can you go check on them for me? So remember, we bred Hunter to Siggy. Well, we decided to take Hunter to Siggy's sister. So we took Hunter to Diamond. And they gave us a 6-pack. If you've been around for a while, they gave us 6 gray and white stamped puppies. I mean, they were all gray and white. They were all boys. They were all blue-eyed. They were all Hunter puppies. So 6 puppies. And
6 boys.
6 boys, exactly. And they created Fiat. Fiat went to another breeder, and he was used later on. We'll get back to him in a second. So now we bred Simba to Siggy. So Simba, remember, is Hunter and Aggie. And now we bred Simba to Siggy. And remember, we also bred Hunter to Siggy. Like, we do a lot of sharing in our breeding program. It's not like human dogs. You're
Siggy's
on top of that, yeah? So, did you catch that? We bred Simba and Siggy. If you guys have been around, you remember we dual bred her. And we got Kira. So that's where Kira came from. So now we have Kika, Cassie, Mackenzie, Siggy, Kira.
And Rue.
I know, but I'm just going 5 generations. 5 generations with Kira. So from Kika to Kira, 5 generations of Kika. Make sense?
Kika to Rue is also 5.
Yeah. No. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Same with Rue. Same with Rue. So Rue does the same exact thing because Rue and Kira have the same mom, right? So Rue and Kira are both Siggy's daughters. So 5 generations. So Rue and Kira. All right. Then the breeder we sold Fiat to bred to Zoe, which by the way also came from us. And Zoe's parents were Phoebe and Stebbins. Phoebe and Stebbins, Diamond and Hunter. And they made River. So that's where River came from. So River came back to us from the breeder that we sold those dogs to. So we sold them these dogs and we got River back. So that's where River came from. So River is 6 generations of Kika line. 6 generations. And now we're right back at our pretty Kika look-alike. So River is still up and coming. He is, 10 months? 9 months? 9 or 10 months old now. But hopefully he will be joining our breeding program. That is our family tree. So if you see all of this, hopefully you guys could see everything. That's where everybody is. And that's how it falls all the way down to River here, 6 generations. We're done. I think that's it for this. Then I could switch out, right? There's puppies. All right, do we have questions?
Yeah.
We have a thumbs down. Did somebody accidentally hit that thumbs down? Sorry, Alexis got a Starbucks earlier. I'm probably a little wired now. How old is River? So I think he's 10 months.
It's not a question.
Oh, how is River doing? He's good. He's outside. In a little while, we'll bring him in for you. But Kira and Keanu keep picking on Loki. So Loki's getting special treatment right now. What's party eyes? So Arlene's asking what party eyes are. So party eyes are when one eye has 2 colors in it. And it could be any combination. So it doesn't have to be green and blue. It can be blue and brown, green and blue, any combination. But literally there's like one part of the eye is one color, another part of the eye is another color. What do you do with dogs that don't have symmetrical markings? Well, the majority of our dogs go to pet homes, and most pet owners don't care. In fact, some people love those markings that are mismatched. Pups for Life, we actually just get markers and color it in. I'm just kidding. No, I mean, most of our puppies go to pet homes, so it's fine for them. It's just not okay for us. How many litters do your dogs have before you retire them? So it just depends. Every dog is different. Females are retired much sooner than males are. And some dogs only have 1 litter at a year. Oh, David, thank you, David, for the super chat. I appreciate that. If you have a question, David, I didn't mean to interrupt, but if you have a question, David, you are welcome to answer or ask those questions. And of course, you jump right to the top of the list in case you guys didn't know that. Super chats and super stickers do help support our channel and our page, and it helps us buy all kinds of fun stuff on Amazon that we share with you, like our little vacuum brush that we shared. But thank you, David. I appreciate it. All right, back to the question. So again, with the females, it just depends. Some dogs only have puppies once a year. Some have twice a year. Usually 6 or 7, they're retired, and they don't start having puppies until they're 1.5 years or so, sometimes 2. So it just depends. There's no set number. Are there ever 3 colors in a party eye? Oh, good question. I don't think I've ever seen that, Tanya. I love that Tanya always comes up with these questions that no one's ever talked about. So, yeah, that is our Kika line. So now you guys can start to see like why we keep certain dogs and why we can't breed certain dogs to each other. So for example, we cannot breed Simba and Rue together because they have the same dad. Hunter is both of their dads. We can't breed Kira to Simba because that's her dad. So we have to be really careful and keep track of everything, of who's who and who's what, and hope that there's no accidents. That's one thing about having a lot of dogs in the house and dogs being in season and being a breeder. It is very challenging to just let everybody run together. It doesn't work well.
I just saw this. It doesn't have any questions.
Would you outsource to a breeder with a red stud dog to get red offspring since you don't have any red males? No, Sandy, I can actually still get red puppies. I don't have to have a red male to get red puppies, because to get the red puppies, you just need 2 dogs that carry the red gene. And so we do have females that have that are red, and we have boys that carry the red gene. So Simba, for example, carries the red gene. Stebbins carries the red gene.
Explain why Simba carries the red gene.
And Simba carries the red gene. Good point. Simba carries the red gene automatically because his mother is red. So his mom is Aggie. She's red. His dad is Hunter. They could not have had red puppies if Hunter did not carry the red gene, because Hunter's gray. So Hunter's gray, Aggie's red, but he carries the red gene. So there was a 75% chance that we could have gotten a red puppy, but we didn't. We got Simba, which I was happy with because I wanted to replace Hunter with one of his sons. So it worked out perfect for me. So we don't necessarily need a red boy. This is Gina. Cosmo looks just like Rue, and he is the best ever. Happy, very happy with the little man. Oh, thank you, Gina. That's awesome. So they have one of Rue's puppies. David, I'll try to phrase this properly, LOL. Are puppies like babies when they are born and maybe slightly cross-eyed just as they get older? That's funny, because puppies are born with their eyes closed. And then even when they do open their eyes in the beginning, there's this film on their eyes. And a lot of times when we take pictures, it kind of looks like their eyes are all wonky and they're looking all funny. But a lot of that could be the flash and their iris or their pupil, what have you. So I don't know if it's just the photography or if in fact they do kind of go all over the place because they don't have control. But you will see that in pictures for sure. They look a little funny at first. We miss you. Who is Simba's daddy? Hunter? Simba is so handsome. How do you clone him? Right, Cecilia? So, yes, Hunter is his dad. Rue,
Oh my
stop.
gosh.
Stop. Can you let her out? We have a dog who says, I want out. You can't see her, but she says, I see you over there. She says, my bone's gone. Go. Not everybody, though.
I know.
Loki, no. Look. So, yeah, Hunter is his daddy, and that's the plan. The plan is to try to clone him because we love the way he looks, but it never works the way we try to make it work. It just doesn't. All right, so what are those green things the puppies love so much to chew on? A great question, Arlene. So if you look in the comment section of this video, or not the comments, I'm sorry, in the description box, you'll see a bunch of information about the video and links to like other videos that we have in playlist, but there's also a link to Safety Chew. So Safety Chew is where we get the green bully stick holders. Anybody who orders those or the bully sticks themselves to refill, there's a discount code that they give Kika's Klee Kai fans 10% off. So there's a code down there, but that's what those are. Those are bully sticks in a green holder. And so they cannot choke on that tiny little leftover piece of bully stick. Who's the dog on screen? I don't know which one that was. Dogs. Oh.
Well, that one's Loki.
Well, there were 3 in there. It was Nala, Loki, and Rue. but now it's just 2. And we'll get some others in a little while. We'll bring River and Kira in for you guys. Diamond, we'll give you guys some news. We will give news. Are you ready? Diamond and Simba are breeding. So we have to be very careful because River thinks he's a grown man and that he should have everybody. And that's Diamond's grandson, for 1. For 2, he's still a puppy. But yeah, so Simba and Diamond are breeding. That's why Diamond's not in there, and that's why Simba's not in there. Okay, next. Do the dogs consider human babies just as ridiculous too? Wait, what? Do the dogs consider human babies just as ridiculous too?
I have no idea what we were talking about.
I'm reading that question.
I know. But
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what you're talking about. I'm not sure. Maybe you could rephrase it. Okay, we already answered that one. I'm curious what to feed a puppy if he's got diarrhea. So obviously, if you're having problems with your dog, then you probably want to talk to a vet. I am not a vet, so I don't want to give you the wrong advice. But if they're just upset stomach, then there's things that you can give. But again, I'm not a vet, so I wouldn't want to share that kind of information and then something really seriously be going on with your dog. So for all of you guys that are members on here of our community, we are going to go live after this is over, which will be over here probably in 10 minutes or so. And then it'll be a little more low-key. We won't be going over all this fun stuff, but we'll be going over like the things you guys have missed out on over the last month since we've been absent and all of that fun. So if you aren't a member, you guys can do that still and be able to hop onto our members only live stream, which will be right after this one. It's funny, I go everywhere with Cosmo and so many people just want to
So many people want one just like him. He can't read.
I can't read. So isn't your list lifted? Yeah, so I mean, we have opened our waiting list a few times, but when we do, it fills up so fast. So since we shut it down last year, I think we've maybe opened it 3 times, 3 or 4, but not many. It's not open on our website at all. You should make posters of the family tree for your website. we will add that stuff to the website eventually, Sean. I am new. Are the dogs we're looking at toy or miniature? So Nala, the little gray that's over on the side, which you can barely see her foot now, is a very tiny, tiny mini. Loki is just a puppy and Rue is a standard. So those were the sizes in here. Want me to answer that one?
Yeah.
Are red pups more expensive than other colors because they are rare? So every breeder is different in how they price their puppies. So you would need to speak to each person. But for us, we base it on a lot of things. It is a combination of coat color, eye color, overall quality of the dog. And so they're not always the most expensive. No, our black and white double blue eyes are usually more expensive. And then Tanya's asking, how long until do you start sending offers to the people who joined in June? That's coming up because we ended in May. We haven't had puppies in a while. But Tanya, June is probably going to be added now. So we've got puppies coming. Hopefully soon you guys will get offers if you've been on the list a while. All right. Is Catherine not on?
Yeah, I saw her.
I haven't seen you, Catherine.
I thought
She's
I saw
being
her.
quiet.
I saw her once.
Oh, I wonder if she's working. I didn't tell her.
There she is, right here.
Okay, I didn't. I should have told her in advance, but I see that. Thank you, Annie. All right. Well, if you guys don't have any other questions, oh, here we are. How to make a white puppy? I want a white one.
Or a simpler replica.
Yeah. So I mean,
I'm here. I'm on my phone. I'm having a hard time interacting.
So we don't intentionally try to get the whites, Cecilia, but we do get them. And when we do, people go crazy for them, that's for sure, because they are popular. But any dogs that carry the white gene, if they're bred to another dog that carries the white gene, we could get white puppies. Simba does carry the white gene. We personally, me and my daughter, we think that the light grays are linked to the white gene, but that's just our theory. So we could get whites, we could get light gray and whites. In fact, we got some of that coming up on the private stream. But
Kika had the white gene.
Kika had the white gene.
Hunter had the white gene.
Hunter had the white gene.
Simba
Both of
has
them.
the white gene.
Simba has a white gene. Kika's mom had the white gene. So all of those light grays tend to have the white gene. Trout had the white gene. Cashmere had the white gene. Yeah, a lot of the light grays that we know had the white gene. So I think it's linked. But we could get it, Cecilia. Is that it?
Mm-hmm.
I think so. Do you guys have any other questions? What did you guys think? This was pretty cool. We spent a lot of time and energy on trying to get this all laid out for you guys. So hopefully you guys understood and were able to follow it. And now you actually can see where all of our dogs came from and how they're all related. Like everybody is pretty much related one way or another back to Kika's line, because we bred Kika's mom to Kona and kept. We bred Kika to a lot of our dogs and kept. And then Abby played a part in that with Bodhi, but Bodhi came from Kika's mom, which is Kika's line. And so Abby's boys are all related. Now, of course, it's far enough away to where we can add dogs back into our breeding program and we're not breeding too close to each other. But that's why pretty much everybody has some form of Kika in their pedigree. And we just are so blessed that we were fortunate enough to meet Andrea and get Kika as our first Klee Kai. You know, she was the start of this madness, but more than anything, it was just her beauty. Like, if you go look at Klee Kai out there, I can guarantee you're not going to find one that looks like Kika. We don't see her. No one has what she was to us. We just didn't see it. There's close, you know, there are some dogs, even some of our offspring, they're close, but we could never get the exact replica of her. And so I guess that even makes it a little more special because she was so unique, and such a love.
She looks so chunky.
Well, she was. She's spayed and fat and retired. She's loving life.
That's how Rue looks when she lays down.
Yeah. So we looked at tails. Okay, this is a perfect picture to look at this. You know, a lot of you guys on here always are like, Rue's tail. You guys know the dog from her tail. Look at this tail. Look at this tail. Do you guys know whose tail that is? Of course it's Kika's, but it looks just like Rue, just like her. So we see that. We see Kika has right here this a little calic where her hair parts right in the center of her back. Diamond has it. What else do we have to share? Kona. Okay, look. Where is he? Oh,
This
just
is
kidding.
Kika start.
Just
You have to
kidding.
go back more.
Sorry. Hopefully you guys don't get
Sick.
sick. It's really sad because we don't have good pictures of Kona. So this is Kona. Doesn't that look like Nola? It looks just like Nola. Thank you, Katie, for the super chat. If you have any questions, please let us know. But yeah, a lot of resemblances. So they all come back in. It's crazy. I see another question.
Me too.
Okay, we'll answer a few more questions before we call it a night. How long does it take for the buff tan color to go gray? So once they blow not every dog does that. So I'm assuming that's Gina. Like Rose she never turned gray. She stayed buff or tan. But usually the lighter ones will have that really light buff cream color. And then when they blow that puppy coat between 4 and 5 months old, that's all going to change to the gray. But not every dog's the same color. So like Rue is always been with the creams in there, and it's not going to go away. All right, next. Why is my puppy chasing his tail?
Rue did it.
Rue did it. They're having fun? I don't know. They're enjoying themselves. They're just chasing stuff. Thank you, Natasha. You guys are awesome. If you guys didn't see the vacuum that we bought that vacuum brush, which is amazing on Amazon. Oh my God. That thing's pretty cool. You guys need to get one of those. We put it on social media. One day I'll get it on my website, I promise. Thank you, guys. I appreciate all the love. We have missed you guys.
One more.
Missed you. Oh, pups for life. How do you know what dog has what gene? Oh, genetic testing. So we have tons of genetic testings that we've done on our dogs, so we are able to know. And in some cases, we know because they gave us that color. So like with Trout, we didn't even have to test him for the white gene because one of his first litters, he gave us a white puppy. So we knew. But there is genetic testing, and it's a swab. Yeah, so we are able to find out the red coloring and the white coloring, the factor 7 status, that type of stuff. That's it. And it's almost 7. So if anything else comes through, we'll answer it real quick. But otherwise, if you guys are a member, then you guys can hop on over to the community tab and give us 5 minutes so I can go potty and get Loki out to potty and switch the dogs. And then we'll hop on to the other one and do our little private stream with all of our members because we appreciate all of you guys. At what age do you start doing the testing, and have you tested River yet? No, usually, so it depends on what we're looking for. If it's health testing, it's at a year old. And if it's for genetic stuff, then we could do that at 2 or 3 weeks. But I haven't tested him for anything at this point. Thank you, Catherine, for the super chat. So I haven't tested him for anything. Oh yeah, he could have the red gene. I don't know. He could have the red gene. He could have the white gene. He could have both, but I haven't done any of that. Yeah.
Could?
Yeah, because
Who's red?
because Stebbins and Hunter.
Oh.
It's going to come in. So red gene, he could have gotten the red gene from Fiat because if Hunter gave Fiat the red gene. And then, oh, we have a new member. Welcome. And so he could have got it from that. And then Stebbins from Zoe. If they have it. I don't know. But yeah, anyhow. All right. What do you think about genetic engineering for dogs in the near future? I have no idea what you're talking about. Do you?
I think. I'm not sure.
I have no idea. It's over my head. Genetic engineering. To me, that means I'm going to build me a dog.
Yeah. Yeah, so you can control what turns out.
I mean, that's pretty much what we do with our breed now, like just mentally. Like we know what we want to weed out, what we don't want to weed out. And we know what we like, so we try to keep breeding to that. So, like, there's a reason why we kept Cassie. There's a reason why we kept Mackenzie. There's a reason why we added certain dogs to our breeding program. There's a reason why we breed, certain dogs together. But it's not always perfect. No breeding program is, and there's trial and error, and there's things that happen, and there's masks that are like, where did that come from? And ears on the side of their heads, and, it's just part of the process, but it's all trial and error, and it's fun. Like we breed 2 dogs together, we never get the same 2. We never get the same.
You can try.
But we never get the same.
The closest we got was Diamond and Hunter, and we got gray boys every single time.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. All right. Well, we are going to hop off of here so that we can take our 5-minute break, and then we will catch you guys on the other stream. I hope to be back next week, so fingers crossed we don't have any crazy hiccups in our life, and we will be here next week. And until next time, bye.